Let's talk about a different hole.
Welcome to Wow of True, the podcast of your wildest memes.
We're your one-stop internet culture shop, here to dissect what's going viral, why we care, and how this might affect our real human lives. I'm, in the hole, Isabel.
And I'm also in the hole, Amanda. Anyone can be in the hole, so why not us?
Okay, I need to just read out our notes for this episode that Amanda wrote.
It's 11 p.m. on a Friday night right now. We're in a mood. We threw this together.
We're talking about hole. This is what this episode is about. It's about hole. It's just about hole. I'm going to read Amanda's notes. They, with an H at the end, did what to an iceberg? This is all in caps, by the way. And then tunnel, and then a URL link. And then Stanley Cup / Mormons ?
I'm valid.
So that's what we're talking about today.
That's what we're talking about today. I'm trying to figure out how to relate this to hole. The ocean is one big hole is what we decided was...
The ocean is a hole. The ocean is a hole. A cup, that is sort of like a portable hole, if you will.
Oh, wait. Ships have holes. Hull.
They do. There we go. A tunnel is a hole. No, full stop. That was easy.
Damn, I was just thinking, like, what else is hole? Was there anything we were missing? And I just want to acknowledge that the SEC Twitter got hacked. That happened.
You have to relate it back to hole.
There's a hole in my heart that grows the more and more I cover the internet.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's kind of a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
We're less than 2 weeks into the new year, and the SEC already got hacked by crypto people.
Maybe crypto is a hole in
society.
I was gonna say the understanding of securities law, but then I was like, that's not that funny.
I think securities law is very funny, but to address the first bullet point, they did what to an iceberg? The fact that you misspelled iceberg is very funny to me. Okay, what are they doing to this iceberg? Because to tell the audience, like, the context for this is that we spent like an hour before this thing that we were going to record, and then Amanda was just watching TikToks of what's going on with the world cruise and like kind of exclaiming about them, and I was not watching the TikToks. I was listening to Amanda have a reaction to the TikToks. It was like the shittiest podcast on earth. So what the fuck is going on with the iceberg? It's such a, like, stupid podcast thing to be like, sorry, I can't tell you about this yet. I have to tell you about it on mic. But
you literally were like, you can't watch this. I'm gonna watch it. We were on this call together, and I was like, what are you talking about?
And I'm like, there's an iceberg, Isabel. Okay, so we talked last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever, about the world cruise. Bunch of influencers on a 9-month cruise. They are all vlogging through it. It's really weird. There's a bunch of old people that are also doing it now. There's like geriatric TikTok influencers because they are on the world cruise. When Isabel talked about this last week, I didn't know much about it, and I was like, all right, okay, cool, whatever. And then since then, I've just become like, I went deep. I know so much about the world cruise.
Oh, you are perhaps in the hole?
Yes, I fell into the hole. So, do you want me to start from the beginning of what I've learned about the world cruise since last time?
Yeah, I really enjoy the fact that, like, every once in a while, I'll, like, get you in on something that you get way more into than I was.
Like Blazeball.
Like Blazeball, Chugi, the world cruise. I think that's about it, actually.
Yeah.
But yes, no, because I have not been keeping up for the last week. So please tell me everything. I need to know.
Okay. Do you know who Mark Sebastian is?
Vaguely, the name sounds familiar.
He is just, I don't know, he's just a guy who has like 1 million followers on TikTok. I don't know what he does, but he came into my life because he made a video on TikTok that was like, why are there not cameras on this cruise? like, why, like, if you are on the cruise, you should be filming everything, because when they make a documentary about it, you are going to sell them your footage. Also, why don't they send me on the cruise? I'll go on the cruise. I will wreak havoc. I will cause drama, whatever. He actually got a company to sponsor him to go on one leg of the cruise.
Oh, wait, I do remember this guy, because he's the guy who's basically, like, Book Talk wants to be him, because he's not a book reviewer, but he got onto the cruise to review a book.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah. The joke is that he doesn't read books, so he's hashtagging all of his stuff with, like, Mark reads a book. But yeah, Atria Books is sponsoring his 18-day cruise. So on the cruise, he has to read a book, and the book that he is reading was voted upon by viewers. There were a couple choices by this publisher. And of course, people pick a thriller novel about a cruise, quote unquote, an unputdownable locked room thriller about family, trust, and survival.
Okay, like, honestly, that makes sense. Like, that's actually a good book to read on a cruise.
It's just kind of funny that it seems like it's, quote-unquote, terrifying journey comes up in the synopsis, which, if you're on a cruise, I mean, they are having a terrifying journey, because right now they're going through the Drake Passage, and that goes toward Antarctica, which is, like, very dangerous.
I feel like the Drake... Sorry, I'm cutting you off, but I feel like the Drake Passage thing is, like, such a, like, crossover TikTok event, because people going through the Drake Passage in the North Sea, and also separately the North Sea, is actually a total, like, separate sphere of TikTok content, where it's just people experiencing the Drake Shake or the Drake Lake. See, the fact that I know what this means is disgusting. The Drake Shake being when it bumpy. What's interesting about this cruise is that it is 9 months, but you can sign up for a single leg. So this is the first instance that we're seeing somebody just, like, decide mid-cruise, I'm gonna go on the cruise. I'm gonna start making content. I'm gonna wreak havoc. And I think it's really funny because he's the first one to do this, but I'm worried that there's gonna be a ton of people that do this, and then it's gonna be like, stop. And then there's gonna be drama because there's gonna be, like, the clout chasers and then the OGs. How do we get on the cruise?
We're gonna need, like, 10,000 more patrons, and we currently have, like, 40, so,
I think we can do it. If we make a TikTok and we talk enough about the cruise, I believe in us.
Okay, so, as we say, you know, the most important thing in growing a podcast is for our listeners to tell their friends, so if everyone listening to this tells 1,000 of their friends to listen, we can get there.
Yeah, listen, we can... This is totally plausible and very doable. Yes. We can definitely make this happen.
Okay, so other just great drama that has been happening on the cruise. We'll come back to this Mark Sebastian character later.
Oh, exciting. Okay.
I'm really teasing the Einsberg.
The Einsberg? It's not even that funny. It's just that it's late.
Yeah. Okay, so do you know about Mike and Nancy?
Yes, but tell our listeners about Mike and Nancy.
They are retirees. They are my favorite people on the World Cruise. They have a blog called Living Phase 2 that's about being empty nesters. They introduced themselves by saying what their superpowers are, and Nancy's is praying.
Wait, that's really funny.
But so, I feel like they get what's going on. Like, they get it. Do they know how to edit videos? No. Are they trying? Yes. Do they understand why the World Cruise is funny? Also yes. So they're trying to feed our desire for drama, and then they were excited when they finally found drama. And the drama was, the ship was running out of certain wines.
Oh shit, the ship running out of wine I did hear about. Please tell me more.
Apparently there was just a couple of the wine selections that people went through, like, 3 pallets of wine. I don't know how much a pallet is, but I'm just imagining, like, a big pallet. And then they tried, like, restocking the wines at various different ports in South America. I think they finally were able to do it in, like, Chile and Argentina, I believe. But so Mike and Nancy were keeping us posted on the wine situation, but they get it because they're doing it in a very tongue-in-cheek way where they're like, we know this is kind of a bit, but like it was pretty funny. So I like those people. Another character that has emerged is Adita. Have you heard about the pineapple situation?
Oh, the pineapple situation. Tell me about the pineapple situation, because I know about this, but it's very funny, so you should tell everybody.
Okay, so this woman, Adita, gonna guess she's like in her 60s. She makes a TikTok. She creates her account while on the cruise because she's like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing. She does a room tour video, and on her door, there are a number of fun little thingies, including a pineapple that says, welcome to Adita and Lee's room. She's there with her husband, who is Lee. And apparently on cruises, an upside-down pineapple means that you are a swinger.
Yep. Like, basically what it is, you put the upside-down pineapple on your room or whatever as a way to say, you're here for fun.
But, so, the pineapple on her door was not upside down. But people were still like, oh my god, she's a swinger. Because I guess I didn't know this about cruise culture. You're the one who has been on cruises in recent memory. But apparently old people, they be on cruises, they be swinging.
I see. I don't want to think about that because usually when I'm on a cruise ship, it's with my parents. And they've never fucked. They've never fucked.
Well,
I was made in a test tube.
No, yeah, I mean, you were actually a test tube
exactly,
baby.
They've never fucked.
Yeah, that's so true. Wow. Thinking about how when I learned how babies are made, I assumed that my parents only had sex 2 times because they have 2 kids.
You know, the thing is that, like, I guess, like, the thing is that if you were born, which we all were, you have, like, a lower bound for the amount of times your parents fucked. You know, it's, for you, at least twice. For me, perhaps 0.
Well, because when you're a kid and, like, when you first learn how babies are made, like, you don't understand that people do it for reasons that are not reproductive.
Right, because nobody tells you about that, because that'd be an insane thing to tell a small child, because it's like...
Exactly.
You don't understand this yet, it's fine, you don't need to know about it.
I just say insane shit like this because I know my mom listens to the podcast, and I know she's gonna be like, oh my god.
That's really... Oh, yeah. Oh, God, your mom does listen to the podcast. Thank God my mom doesn't listen to the podcast. Hey, how much sex do you think they're having on a cruise? Let's talk about Hole for a second.
I don't know. I hope that they're having, like, a normal amount.
I love how you said that was a question.
Like,
are you sure?
I don't want to believe that these circumstances are causing more or less sex to be occurring.
Okay, I feel like, I think on average it's probably the same amount of sex they were having beforehand. My favorite cruise ship character is Little Rat Brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because she just seems to have, like a sense of humor that aligns with my own in how she is taking the cruise.
Yeah, how was she even on the cruise?
That's a good question. I have no idea. But hey, you still haven't told me about the iceberg.
Wait, no, I'm still talking about the pineapple.
Okay, fine, go back to the pineapple.
There's so much to talk about. I'm really creating suspense for our listeners. Yeah, to wrap it up, so she had to make a video saying that she's not a swinger. Like, this lady just made a TikTok and she has to go on and say, hey guys, I'm not a swinger. But she kept leaning into the pineapple thing, was showing off how she just really likes pineapples. She has a pineapple necklace, a ring, a bracelet. Her husband has pineapple swim trunks, and she did a husband reveal video where she shows her husband in the pineapple swim trunks.
Nice.
And then Mark Sebastian, the guy who's the influencer on the cruise, posted like an interview with Adita, and she seems to just be living a life. Apparently her daughter has won 2 Emmys, and she has one of them in her house.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. And like, she keeps denying that she's a swinger, but I don't know, man.
I feel like if you have to deny it that many times, it means that you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't talk about that unless you're like that.
Yeah, like she's pulling one over on everyone. Okay, so the iceberg.
The iceberg. All right, so it's the context here that they're en route to Antarctica, correct?
Yes.
Yes. The fact that the world cruise. Can we talk about a second about the fact that the world cruise is going to Antarctica? Because I would think that a cruise ship, it's because this is also like not a new cruise ship. It's like an older one. And the fact that it's like okay to go to Antarctica kind of surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even docking in Antarctica. They're just like going through there, which is kind of weird, I guess.
I think you need like specialists if you actually want to dock in Antarctica, because it's like you can't just go there. Cause
one does not just go.
Thing.
Except, didn't they do that in The Magicians?
Yeah, but you can do that if you're like a wizard.
Yeah,
like,
weren't they just in Antarctica for a while? Man. Were they in Antarctica when the wolf thing happened?
Yeah, but like you can do that if you're a wizard, you know? You can do that if you're like in a homoerotic TV series. You can't do that in real life.
Yeah, damn. Okay, so basically Isabel and I are on a call. We are preparing for this podcast where we clearly are very prepared. I wanted to see if Mark Sebastian had posted any more TikToks, and I saw he was live. So I click on the live, and I just see, like, the inside of the cruise ship, and, like, a white form. Like, I assumed it was, like, a white, like, poof or something. Like, because the quality is kind of bad. It's sort of like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's just like a big white thing.
Right, because because the fact that he's streaming at all is wild, because Antarctica.
And then people start, like, posing on the iceberg, and, like, the live video is showing people posing on the iceberg and other people taking pictures and videos of them on the iceberg. So they're, like, doing a photo shoot, but I didn't know it was an iceberg until they start saying, like, oh, it's the iceberg. And I'm like, is that really an iceberg? And I don't know if it is. Like, how did they get an iceberg on the ship if that is an iceberg?
It can't be real. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, but they were all, like, posing with it, which makes it, like, I mean, if you got an iceberg on the ship, you would want to take pictures with it.
That's true. I guess that's what I would be doing if they took an iceberg on a ship.
Yeah.
God, this is a weird situation. The whole world cruise is bizarre. This whole thing's bizarre.
Yeah, so this guy, like, I mean, let's check in. Is he still alive? Let's see what's happening. But when I was watching, he then showed us, like, footage going out from, like, on the top of the thing. Oh, he's still alive. What's he doing? Huh. Okay.
See, This is what I have to listen to. This is what I'm listening to for an hour.
Okay, so what just happened there was he made a TikTok a couple days ago saying that it was just really loud on the ship. Like, they're playing music everywhere, and it's loud, and, like, it bleeds into each other. And the thing I was just watching, he was saying that he heard gossip that they have since started to lower the music on the cruise.
Nice.
This is so boring. Why are they doing this?
Hey, how do you think I feel listening to you narrate it?
To try to make some intelligent sense out of all of this, I feel like there's a lot of hubris. Like, no one wants to be the main character of the internet, but these people are opting into being the main character of the internet, and something's gonna go wrong.
I mean, I think that's what we're all salivating for, though, right? Because it's like,
for sure.
I feel like part of the world cruise thing is that, like, everyone is very excited to watch people fail. Because it's very much like everyone, it has the same feeling as reality TV, where you're putting a lot of people in a small space and just seeing what happens. And this is almost, you know, like, I mean, we talked a lot about, like, the parallels between this and reality TV, and a lot of people have written about this. You've written about this. But, like, there's something just a little bit, like, gross about the way we're going about it, but also kind of like, you've made your deal with the devil being the big cruise ship. It also has, like, vibes of the Titanic, you know? Just, like, vibes of doomed voyages.
So this one person at Whimsy Soul on TikTok made a bingo card, and the bingo card has some wild items like staff dates passenger, petty neighbor drama, mass norovirus, someone falls off. And somehow on the bingo board, those items, those are just examples, but we're one mass STI outbreak away from bingo.
That's really funny. Yo, you know there's gonna be a mass STI outbreak.
Well, that goes back to the, are they having sex?
And on that note, let's talk about a different hole.
Yeah, the hole in a straw of Stanley cups.
What is a cup except the portable hole? Yeah, okay, so we're moving on from the big hole to the small hole. It sucks. Why did we make this a theme? Okay, so we're talking about Stanley Cups. And we are actually behind in talking about this because I feel like the moment to talk about Stanley Cups was like 2 weeks ago. Maybe a month ago. But I think what's interesting about Stanley Cups is how quickly they've been speed running relevancy. But also how, like, the guy who did Crocs and, like, made Crocs cool is the guy who has made Stanley Cups cool. Do you know what a Stanley Cup is?
Well, like most of the world, when I first saw people talking about this, which probably like a year ago, like they've been a trend on TikTok for a while. When I first saw people talking about this, I thought they were talking about the hockey trophy, but they're talking about the brand Stanley, which is a very like rugged camping brand. They make these big cups. They're water bottles. They have a handle, they have a straw. They're small at the bottom and bigger at the top. They come in different colors. The TikTok girlies have been obsessed with them for a long time.
Right, so this is basically, it is a 40-ounce, the Stanley Cup that people are talking about, and the girlies, the suburban girlies, are getting feral for in Target, because that was the Valentine's Day limited edition Stanley Cup, I believe, is that it is a 40-ounce, usually like a pastel-colored like tumbler. It is fucking huge. They sell accessories for them as if this is like a small child or perhaps like a dog.
You can get a chip bowl to put around the straw.
You can get a chip bowl for your cup. This is deranged. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of going to the movie theater and like getting one of those like, do you know what I'm talking about, where like there'll be like a thing that has like nachos in it and there'll be like a place to put your cup and it's
yes.
like it's for your
yes.
like icy. Yeah, this is what it reminds me of. The weird thing is that the Stanley Cup company is like, it's like a camping-ish like brand. It's from like 1913's like all steel vacuum flask. They've been around for fucking ever. And then they did a hard pivot. The hard pivot being to the girlies. And that was actually a crazy good choice on their part because, forgive me, I'm going to have to look up a number real quick because I didn't write it down because it is 11:24 at night.
I think I remember the number. It was that over the last year, they have gone from annual revenue of 75 million to 750 million.
Correct. Yes.
I have a memory. I read the thing you sent me.
I don't have a memory. And I never read anything. So clearly marketing to the girlies has worked. What's interesting, I think, is that like it has hit probably peak saturation now, and I don't think it is quote unquote not really in anymore because everyone was so excited about it. Now it's kind of like everybody has it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like I thought this was already a trend where like, because if you're not on TikTok, it seems like this just happened, but like the TikTok girlies have been obsessed with Stanley Cups for so long, but it picked up in relevance because I guess a lot of people got them for the holidays, and then there were these videos of people running ferally through Target, like fighting each other to get the limited edition ones. And then Starbucks also did a limited edition thing. There was also a video that this one person posted where her car got into like a crazy accident, and then her Stanley Cup in her car is just completely fine.
The way that Stanley Cups feel in the pop culture for me is that like people are pretending they're practical. They are practical, but that's not why people are getting them. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like you can point at that and be like, oh, this will survive, but it's really, you're not getting it because of that. You're getting it because other people have it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a water bottle girly. I have to carry a water bottle everywhere because I'm on Zoloft, which means that I'm thirsty all the time. Zoloft just makes you very dehydrated. Anyway, I drink a lot of water because I'm always dehydrated because I'm on Zoloft. And
okay.
But like, I would never get a Stanley Cup because they have a straw and you can't like throw it in your bag and then have it not leak out everywhere.
Yeah, so that's the other thing about Stanley Cups is that like on a practical level, you have to just kind of carry them around. They also have like a strap. It's like a whole thing. Yeah, okay. So the interesting thing here is that it's the guy who did Crocs who made the Stanley Cup big. Because like, you know, Crocs were not cool and now people wear Crocs and it's like less uncool.
I feel like Crocs have gone up and down and up and down. Like, I think that in 5 years, Stanley Cups are going to be extremely cool. Like, they're gonna become uncool. Like, I think right now they're on the way down and becoming less cool, but then in 5 to 10 years, they'll be cool again, like Crocs.
I could see that. You know, what's funny is that these are very durable, so it could be the same cup.
Hold on to your cups. No, because I remember when we were in elementary school, Crocs were having a moment, and then they stopped having a moment, and now they're having a moment again. And I was given Crocs at VidCon last year, and I wear them pretty frequently. They're pink Crocs, and I got a gibbet of a smaller pink Croc, so they're meta Crocs.
That's really good. But yeah, no, the guy who made that cool, and the fact that they were at VidCon to begin with, is the fault of the guy who was made the Stanley Cup cool.
Well, this was another company that was giving out Crocs to, like, people that were coming to their little tent.
No, but, like, what I mean is the fact that a company would be giving out Crocs to begin with is this guy's fault.
Oh, yeah, and it was, like, pretty crazy. I was like, they're giving out Crocs? To be fair, they were giving out Crocs within, like, a section of VidCon that you could only get into if you were, like, a higher profile person and or a journalist.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy's name is Terrence Riley. We should have probably mentioned that before, but it's not really relevant because I don't care about the C-suite, conceptually.
Yeah. Terrence Riley is probably the most powerful person in America, and we don't even know it.
You know, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's how a lot of the C-suite works, where it's like, there's a lot of people out there who are making a lot of decisions, and they're making them sometimes based on bad choices, and it's like, that guy's deciding the whole fate of this company. Like, don't worry about it, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the most surprising things that I've learned, and I've now been, like, covering the tech industry on a daily basis as my full-time job for, like, 3 years now, and CEOs don't know what they're doing. Like, people don't know what they're doing. They make insane decisions all the time. They make horrible decisions, and that's, like...
And we all just, we just have to accept it. It's fucked up.
People are really stupid and lack empathy. And it's okay to be stupid, but it's not okay to be stupid and also have no empathy. And that's when you have corporate evil happen. And it's not even, they don't even think they're being evil.
Where would you say that the Stanley Cup falls on the scale of corporate evil?
I think what's funny about the Stanley Cup also is that it's pretty harmless as far as a trend goes. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Drink water at me? Like, I don't know. No shame. If you have a Stanley Cup, if you like it, like, cool. Like, you're allowed to have a water bottle that you like. We're not
anti-cup here. We are pro-cup, I think, conceptually.
Yeah.
Yo, I hit the wall like 15 minutes ago. Do you want to talk about the tunnel? You want to talk about a tunnel and then we can fucking leave?
We hit the wall inside of the tunnel, ? So,
we hit the wall at the bottom of the hole.
You know when it's 2024 and you're Jewish on the internet?
Seems like a bad time. Go on.
Yeah, it's like, one side of the internet is, oh no, war crimes. And then the other side of the internet is like, guys, under the Chabad in Crown Heights, there's a tunnel. And it's like a whiplash, because among Jewish people, it's like, this is fucking hilarious. There's a tunnel under the Chabad. People got arrested, ? Like, there's, like, infighting over the tunnel that runs under...
Tunnel infighting?
Yeah, like, there's Chabad infighting over a tunnel. So it's like...
What are they fighting about?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know, just being Jewish on the internet is so weird, because we finally get something fun. We finally get to laugh about a tunnel. But then anti-Semitic conspiracy theories happen where they're like, the tunnel is for trafficking. When it's like, nah, man, they just dug a tunnel. I don't know what they're doing at Chabad. They're doing a lot of shit at Chabad. Who knows? Yeah. Do you know what a Chabad is?
Well, they're tunneling, so jot that down. No, tell me about Chabad.
So, Chabad is just sort of like a movement within Judaism. It's not like a type of Judaism, I guess. Chabad is a movement within Judaism. It's like part of Orthodoxy. In Judaism, generally, people aren't really into like proselytizing, because, I don't know, what is there to proselytize about? We're vibing. but Chabad is like
Okay.
very proselytizy, specifically with other Jews.
Wait, I'm confused. Is this like a you should be our sort of Jewish thing?
Yeah, it's like a you should be our sort of Jewish, and their sort of Jewish is more Orthodox. Like, if you're a Reform Jew, they are going to be like, hey, you should come to Chabad. But a lot of it just everything is practiced differently at individual different Chabads, but I have been very turned off by it because I went to a bar mitzvah at a Chabad once, and it was like separating the men and the women, and women couldn't do certain things, and that's like very foreign to me because in the Jewish cultures I've grown up in, that is just gender like literally does not matter whatsoever. I don't know. So anyway, Chabad already kind of like among Reform Jews, people are sort of like, oh no, it's Chabad. They're gonna try to get me to come to their thing again. Run away.
Does this feel? This feels really similar to the way that people feel about like Jehovah's Witnesses.
I don't know. But so it's like the tunnel under Chabad is funny. And so apparently there is infighting over like different sects within Chabad where some people believe that this rabbi Menachem Mendel Shreisen, who died in the 90s, was the Messiah, and there are people that are very dedicated to the idea of him being the Messiah. Then there's people that think that there has not been a Messiah. Jews generally don't believe in the Messiah, whereas I think my understanding is that Christians believe that Jesus is the Messiah, but there are Messianic Jews who believe Jesus was the Messiah, but they're Jewish. And I did go to a Messianic Jewish bat mitzvah once, and boy, was it an experience.
You know, we mostly believe that Jesus was the Messiah. Some people get weirder about it. Mormons get really weird about it.
Yeah. This is religious studies with Amanda at 11:48 at the podcast. But so apparently, like, one of the theories about why people were digging the tunnel under the Chabad was because they think that that's what the rabbi that they think was the Messiah wanted, or like they were trying to assert dominance over 770, which is like a major road. Like, I don't totally get it.
But like, how do you assert dominance over a road by digging a tunnel? I don't get it. My theory about this, can I just say my theory, which I think I'm right about? Mm-hmm. I think they just wanted to build a tunnel, but they figured, we gotta say that this guy wanted us to do it, and he's dead, so it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the perfect guy to blame the tunnel for, because he's dead.
Honestly, isn't that just, like, what religion is doing things that you want to do and then saying that a guy told you to do them?
Damn, you're kind of right.
Damn. Religion's crazy.
But I just kind of feel like it's way more likely to me that these guys were like, yo, we are bored, and then when you start building a tunnel, and you simply must continue.
Yeah, it really scares me, though, the idea of, like, being in a tunnel. I don't know. I find this whole thing, honestly, very confusing. I read a bunch of articles trying to figure out, like, what is happening. And I have a quote from an Alma article that I think just kind of sums it up. So, to recap, the tunnel likely came about because of A, Chabad infighting over who controls 770, B, a belief from some Chabad members that what they were doing was what Rabbi Shreisen wanted, and C, boredom.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. See?
Yeah.
I ran out of funny things to say about the tunnel because I'm thinking about the tunnel. I'm gonna be real.
You think about the tunnel so much that you can't talk about the tunnel.
Honestly, this is how I felt for the last week with every single fucking tunnel that's been on Twitter and TikTok and shit. Because, like, I feel like last week it started with, like, people getting up in arms about the suburban mine. And now it's like, oh, there's a tunnel under the Chabad. And then it's like, oh, there's a guy who, like, built a big hole in his house. And then a second guy who built a different tunnel. What I'm saying is it's been a big week for Hole, which is why that I proposed Hole as the theme.
Yeah. So, you know how we went to a college that was first started in the 1700s?
Yes.
You know how there's some really old architecture and there's some weird shit?
Are you going to tell me about a tunnel?
Yes.
Where?
What dorm did you live in freshman year?
I lived in the quad.
Did you ever go into the quad catacombs?
No, what?
There's catacombs!
You know, I'm actually not really surprised because this is the sort of thing that Penn would have. However, it's kind of fucked up I never got in there.
Yeah. It was like you had to go into a basement and then there was a door in like some areas of various different like subsection, like, because there were 3 dorms within the quad, but then within the quad there's like sub halls, I guess. Like, what are they even, like, I don't know, but some of them had other doors where then you could like go into a tunnel into catacombs and you could just walk around underneath the whole quad, like in the catacombs. Mostly the reason why people went down there was to smoke weed in the winter.
Do you think that's why they built it under the Chabad?
Well, I mean, I hope they would be allowed to smoke weed not in the open, but when you're living in a college dorm, you can't really smoke weed that easily, and when the weather is not super cold, you go to the biopond, which is a pond near the bio buildings, and people smoke weed there, but you don't want to smoke weed at the biopond when it's like 20 degrees, so you go into the catacombs.
Hey, do you think they're smoking weed on the World Cruise?
Can you get weed onto the World Cruise? On that note...
On that note, if you like this episode, tell a friend. Word of mouth is how we grow. Thank you to all of our patrons, and shout out specifically to Zoe, Brand, Dramathea, Brian, Gabriel, Lada, Matt, Max, my sugar daddy Sam, and Aaron's husband. If you want your name in the above or in our Twitter header, slide right into our Patreon at patreon.com/wowoftrue. Shout out to audio editors Allison Mills and David Newtown, graphic designer and Canva warlock Eric Silver, who made our logo, Sam Reiser, who made our podcast music, and Tessa Farah, who is transcribing our episodes. You can find us on Twitter as @WowofTruePod and Instagram and Facebook as @WowofTrue. Had your 15 seconds of internet fame? Slide right into our Twitter DMs and tell us about it. If you know about any other good holes, tell us about that too, I guess. And until next time, let's get weird on the internet.